Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a video that has been actually quite requested. Today we're going to talk about the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault, and I'm gonna give you all of my thoughts after having played with this for a few weeks, used all of the shades in the palettes. I want to start by admitting I had made this whole dupe video to convince myself I didn't need these palettes, and then the day came and I resisted almost to the whole day of launch, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy them. So in the end I purchased the Vault from the Morphe site on the day of the launch, which was August 14th. It was shipped on August 15th, so one day later. Actually, that was quite good with the volume of orders that I expected. One thing to mention, this was the European Morphe website. Now they have websites that cater to different areas of the world. I know there's an Australian one, European one, UK, which is the same thing, but they will have different currencies and different prices. The Vault was 55 euros, and I used one of the discount codes of the affiliate codes. I supported one of my favorite YouTubers, which is Nicole from Young, Wild and Polished. So I used her code, the YWP, for 10% off. That took €5.50 off of €5.50 off of the palette, making it come down to €49.50. Shipping on the Morphe website is free over 35 euros, so that was the price of the collection. So for 4 palettes I spent €49.50. I think that was actually quite good. I was afraid that the price compared to the US would be much higher. Instead, it's not price matched, and it's not even the same number when in euros and in dollars, but I can imagine with them having to pay for shipment to the European warehouse and with exchange rates, this is what it is. Not upset about it. I can understand that, and I actually am just happy that now we don't have to wait for Beauty Bay to get things before we can purchase from Morphe website itself. The Vault was shipped via Hermes. That is the courier that they use. Courier that they use. I have heard quite some horror stories, especially for packages that had to be delivered to Italy, that they took a long time and shipment did not proceed through tracking very easily. Personally, the tracking did not move for 3 or 4 days. It was shipped on Wednesday the 15th, as I said, and I had the mailman at the door on the Saturday, which is the 18th. Sorry, just checking the calendar. And I had the mailman at the door on Saturday the 18th. By surprise, the tracking hadn't moved. I hadn't been able to follow it, but my Dutch mail man from the Dutch post office came to deliver the package. So it was really fast at arriving here. It was packaged very well. It came in this box, which has the graphics, and in the back there is Jaclyn Hill with a little bit of a story of the palettes and the shades in English and in French somehow. Then the Vault collection was inside a bubble wrap sleeve inside this box. So I think it was very well and secured, and then this box was inside some more packaging paper on the outside within another box. If you want to see how it looked like, I have highlights on my Instagram on all of this, on my first impressions and everything that I did up to this review. So it was packaged well. It arrived really quickly in 3 days. I was really pleased. So my experience with that was very positive. I know that not everybody's is, and I actually encourage you, if you have had issues with the shipping, please let us know in the comments so that other people can know other experiences. Since mine was very positive, I have nothing to complain about for a change. So first thing that I did once I received the bolts was actually swatch them all, of course. I swatched them next to the dupes that I had come up with, and you can see that video. I will link it up in the cards, and I will link also the post that I published with the comparison between the dupes that I initially chose and the actual Vault palettes. I think these were quite nicely made. I like the packaging very much. I like how you have your string to pull out the palettes. It is quite a collectible. You can actually display it. All the palettes have different dots on here which show you what color scheme they are, and in the back you can see the name of each palette in each color. I don't know if you can see it with the light. I have no lights, this is just natural light from outside. So I like that it's really easy to pick your palette even when you have them laying around or when you have them inside the vault. Now to come to the quality of the eyeshadows. There have been a lot of complaints, there's a lot of drama on these. I don't want to get into it because I don't care. Mainly I hate when people lie, and that is just wrong, but I don't want to get into it. If you want to look for drama, not here. I want to show only that all of my palettes have a little V2 on the bottom, and one of them has this little sticker on the bottom with a, I guess, new batch number. Take that information if you were interested to know what my palettes look like. That is the case. I know that there was no V2 in the first round, and that Jaclyn said that V2 doesn't mean it's the second version. However, that is what it is. These are the palettes I got. I was very skeptical with trying these out because I have heard that anyways they were not good, nothing was good, they were crappy Morphe shadows, not good. I have to say, overall, I am very, very pleased with these eyeshadows and the different palettes. I like that each palette has its own color story. I like that you can travel with them. You can just take one and go. I like that in the Vault you can actually mix and match and get different eye looks with it. For example, today I have the Ring the Alarm, the orange palette with the inner corner highlight from Armed and Gorgeous palette. I like that very much, and I like the format of them. They're small. I like that you can buy them individually. Individually they are 17 euros each, so you will need to buy two and a brush to get free shipping, but if you don't like all of them, there's no point in spending 50 euros on them, which I think is great. I know the Vault is limited edition, whereas the individual palettes will be permanent. As I said, my experience with the palettes was all very positive. I did first round just putting shadows on the eyes, making a few different eye looks, one per palette, and I did it on my Instagram stories just because it's faster, and I don't think I want on my YouTube a first impression, and it's not very curated looks, it's just trying out the shades. But I think it's nice to share that because my opinions are based on my experience, and if I share my experience on something like Instagram stories, you can follow along and also make your conclusions, whereas in videos it would take too long to show you, I don't know, day by day or my use of it in a few weeks. What instead I wanted to do in this video, I didn't want to swatch them on my arm. You can see that on my blog, and the swatches there are catered to show you the shades. They're not one finger swatches, and they are built up so that you can see the colors. What instead I wanted to do was to put the shades on my eyes. My good friend Katie here on YouTube has done a eye swatch video for the Armed and Gorgeous palette that she purchased. That girl Shay has done a very, very long, 1 hour long eye swatch video on each and every shadow of these. However, I watched that and I wasn't really agreeing with the format. So applying a matte eyeshadow all over the lid and then blending it out is not typically the way I would use an eyeshadow. So I wanted to show you different looks using all of the shades in each palette and using them as I would in my daily life, because that's what I care. Like, that is how these eyeshadows need to perform well at when I apply the transition shade in my crease, so when I apply the dark shade in my outer corner to smudge out my liner, for example, when I apply my shimmer shadows on my lid. So a few things that I had tweaked was in my first impression, for example, I was checking colors on my lower lash line. In this case, I didn't do my lower lash line except in one case because I don't think it is representative of how a shade blends out. You don't have a lot of surface to blend through or other colors to blend into as much as if you do it on the upper lash line. So I have done 2 looks on one on each eye with each and every one of these palettes, and I will add them now in. I hope this will help you understand how these eyeshadow work, and I will continue with my review right after that. I love all of these palettes. There are a few problematic shades in the Dark Magic palette. Yes, absolutely. The Dark Magic palette has a lot of very dark mattes, and those are difficult to make. The biggest disappointment of the whole vault is this military olive green here. I had such high hopes. I really love these shades. I use them a ton, and I am very disappointed that this is so patchy. This time it didn't go as bad as other times that I tried it, so maybe you can take me on my word or check my Instagram stories to see how bad it came out other times. It does perform better when there's more powder underneath it, so setting your shadow or your base with powder will help, but still, nevertheless, this is one of the shades that disappointed me. The green and blue, the green works well for what it's meant to be, better than the blue. The blue will blend in the crease, but it's not extremely good and easy to work with. I know from experience that these shades are not easy to make, as I said. If you think of Axis from the Subculture palette, this is very hard to blend as well, but the pigmentation there is absolutely ridiculous. You can see those swatch comparisons on my Instagram stories as well. Overall, though, I love the color scheme of this palette. I'm disappointed because this is the palette that, if I had to pick only one, I would have bought this one. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. It is a bit more difficult to work with than the other palettes. It is also not your everyday palette compared to the other palettes, let's say. So it's your decision to make. Favorite palettes? I am very torn in the sense that I use all of the other 3 on a daily basis. Absolutely love them. As I said, I don't use the Dark Magic except for like when it's bad weather. When it's bad weather, I'll pile on a deep smoky eye. And I love the green for the winter months. It will be absolutely one of my most used. However, I have to say that the eyeshadow palette that I use the most is the Ring the Alarm palette. And I know my friend Francesca would say, unless you have 50,000 shades of terracotta and oranges. That is true. However, I use this a lot. So the reason is actually this berry shade here, these browns, all the matte shades are actually very everyday shades for me. I also love these 2 shimmers, the yellow and the copper, beautiful. I don't use these 2 that much, the first 2, but for example, on my eyes today, I have this palette. It is something that I reach for a lot, and I think that's instinctual, and it works very well. For the Armed and Gorgeous palette, I really like this bright yellow that is a little bit with a little bit of a green undertone to it. Very nice. I love this other yellow for the inner corner. The shimmery white, if you've seen my dupe video, you know the shimmery white, I couldn't find anything in my collection to dupe it, so I'm very happy to have that. This green performs better than the other one. I like this green, and I like all of these shades. This is a really special one as well. So I love, again, all 3 of the other shade palettes, sorry, that are in the vault. This purple one, you've heard me during my demos. The red is amazing. This other purple is amazing. I love this very cool toned purple. However, I don't use it much because that just doesn't fit with my clothes, let's say. So the shade that I don't use and I don't care for is this one here, which is this, I think you can see the shimmer and glitter from me moving the palette. It just shows up as a very dark purple or black on my eye, and I use it as a matte. So I don't care for the Berry Treasure shade. I haven't had good luck packing it on to get all the shimmer out, so I wouldn't bother with that in a smoky eye. Would I recommend the Vault? I would say that if you are looking to get into color and you have only, I don't know, single matte shadows that are neutrals or a very neutral palette, I think these are a great way to get into color. However, you need to be loving warm tones because there's a ton of those. There's 2 full palettes of warm tones, and even the purple palette is still quite warm in a lot of aspects. So that is kind of the trick there. If you have something like, I don't know, the 35O, or you have some very, very warm toned palettes, you probably don't need all of these. Think about the purple one, and I guess think about the smoky palette, even though it was a bit problematic for me. So I'm not sure I would suggest it to anyone. Again, I do not regret at all to picking up this Vault. I like the eyeshadows. I am a bit bitter about the drama that has been going on. I'm a bit sad to have, let's say, supported a brand that is so problematic and a person that is so problematic. And I have to say I'm disappointed because I was a huge Jaclyn Hill fan. She taught me to apply my makeup. Her videos taught me to apply my makeup. I was following her back in 2012, 2013 when I started to do my makeup in more than mascara and one shade on the lid. So I am sad and disappointed as a fan of the behavior and the shadiness of the whole situation, until we get formal statements that are the truth. Unfortunately, my disappointment will stay. However, I am super happy to have the Vault. I have the original palette. I bought it also at the beginning, and I feel there's a lot of overlap, but this palette is also very unique in its own sense. And when I reviewed it and did dupes for it, I told you how this green shade and this glittery bronze shade are so unique. I think there are quite a few overlaps with these Vault shadows, but I do also understand the need to make one eyeshadow palette with a few transitions that will work as a cohesive palette. So I do understand that, and I'm not mad about it at all. On longevity of the shadows, I'm just gonna pop this in as I was looking at my notes and I saw that note there. These last over 10 hours on me all day long. I come home from work and have dinner and they're still there. By the end of the day, sometimes I see them creasing a little bit, but I think that's also because I'm tired. I touch my eyes or I cry a little with the wind while cycling. So overall, happy with this purchase. It's perfect? No, it's not. But nothing really is, except for maybe Anastasia Soft Glam. But then there's shades that are the same there. But formula-wise, I am quite happy with it. Fits with the price very well. I am happy to have this Vault. I am inspired with makeup looks, and I wear a lot more color during the day, especially since Soft Glam was becoming my day-to-day, and that is very, very neutral. I'm happy to be wearing ridiculous color again, but then again, I don't know, it fits me and my style, so I don't mind being back onto it. And with fall, these shades are definitely calling, and as I said, winter with the smoky eyes. If you have any questions on the Vault, please don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comments. Please check out my blog posts that I will link in the description box, where you can see the swatches, to see the colors comparison with the dupes of my previous dupe video, and just overall considerations that maybe didn't get through in this video. I hope you enjoyed the style of swatching it. It's not a complete eye swatch, it's not a tutorial, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of how these eyeshadows apply on the eyes, and I used every single one of them in this video. My eyes are sore from getting my makeup off and on, but that's okay. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with your friends if they have questions about the palettes, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future videos. I will see you in my next one. Bye!